to fix up the photo. So the first thing I'm going to do to this photo is a Control L to do levels. And with levels, what we want to work with are these triangles right here. So the top left black triangle is going to go under the black hill. That ensures that we have a true black in the photo. And now we can see that the photo is quite dark. So this white triangle has to go underneath the white right hand side of the mountain. So left is for black, right is for white. And we can see that it gets bright. Again, you have to be careful how far you're going to take it because it could get totally crazy washed out like that. But I think this is pretty good right here. Once you like it, click OK. Always go back in history and see. Here it's kind of dark and dull, and then after levels it's pretty bright. And now we want to select. So the best thing to use for selection is right over here. We see we have quite a few things: lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, and magnetic lasso tool. For lasso tool, you kind of have to free draw it yourself. Polygonal is better with straight lines. Magnetic lasso tool I really like. That's the one I'm going to choose. Up here, there's quite a few things to choose from. Feather, it says 0. That would give a really harsh line wherever you draw it. So let's try 10 pixels to kind of smooth out that line between blur and non-blur, or black and white and color, which are the two things we're going to be doing today. Width 10 pixels is pretty good. Contrast 10% is good. Contrast, it's trying to find contrast between the edge of your object and the background. And then frequency 57, this is how often it's going to lay down actual anchor points. And that's why it's called the magnetic lasso tool, because it's like it's putting down little magnets as it goes along. Do your Control plus to make it bigger so that you can really see what you're outlining. Make sure you've moved other things out of the way, and you can start anywhere you like. And when you start, you can see that it puts down little anchors all the way around. And now let's say you did make a mistake, just hit delete on a Mac or backspace for Windows and it would take you back. Okay, so for me there, I pressed it for too long. I held on to delete for too long and it took me right back to the beginning. So I'll start again. Sorry about that. So I'm going to select, all the way around. And it is trying to find the contrast, which it's pretty good at. And all the way around. Now I have a stylus that I'm holding in my hand here at home, which helps me out. It's a Wacom tablet, if any of you have it at home or if you've used it. See, I don't like, there I kind of dip down, so I'm going backwards. Okay, I'm going to try again, more on the edge, which is working on a lot better. Yeah, but working with a stylus helps you control it because it's like you're holding a pen on a board as opposed to a mouse. Okay, and that too, I'm kind of too high up, so I'll delete. Okay, it's not letting me for some reason, I don't know why. Okay, that arm is pretty close to the leg, so I'll just leave it the way it is. Straight edges are pretty good. Okay, and then I'm back to my starting point, and you see that little tiny itty bitty circle. I found the beginning anchor point. When I see the little circle, I know that I can let go, and it's selecting it. So now everything is outlined by these moving dotted lines, which in Photoshop are also referred to as marching ants. Now what we have here is this little inner portion here that we also need to select. So we need to do it a little differently. We need to subtract. So if you're on a Mac, you're going to hold down Option. For everyone at school, Windows, you're going to hold down Alt, and it's going to temporarily switch to subtract from the selection mode. So you guys are going to hold down Alt, click inside here, and once it takes the first anchor point, you can let go of Alt and then keep selecting all the way around. So you can see it has a little minus next to it here. I'm just going to hover so you guys can see it. I'm going to click and let go, and it's letting me select on the inside, so this is pretty cool. And down into that corner and around the cup and down. Now again, meet up with that very first anchor. It still gives you a circle even though you're doing like a subtraction within a selection, and check mark. So that's pretty cool. And oh, I don't know why it moved everything over though. Okay, so I'm picking it up and trying to move it back. All right, so I'm going to do my control minus, because now I want to select inverse. I really don't want to make my toys or Legos blurry. I want to make the background blurry. So select inverse, and now you see I have marching ants all the way around the border of the actual photo. And I'm going to go ahead and blur it. Blurring, we're going to use a filter. So right up here at the top, click on filter, click on blur. The best one that I find is Gaussian blur. So click on Gaussian blur. It gives you an up close, but it's a little too up close. So go minus here so you can kind of go out and see what you're doing. You guys are going to start out at a radius of like 1, which really is nothing. So then move it up and see what in your eyes looks good but still believable. You don't want to go like that because they're just floating in nothing. Somewhere around 9, 10 for me. Again, every photo is going to be a little bit different. Actually, maybe 10 is a little too much. I'll go down to like an 8, 8.4. Let's see that. Okay, and that looks pretty good. So what I want you to do you took 6 photos for assignment number 5. You took 6 unique creative photos with mini Legos, mini toys. 2 of them I want you to give blurry backgrounds to. And another 2, I want you to either make the background black and white or make the toys black and white. So here I'm going to go ahead and again, you could do blur and background black and white, but you're going to be doing something to 4 of the 6 photos minimum. So we're going to go image, adjustments, black and white, and voila, we have a black and white background, which is pretty cool. It makes the toys pop just a little more. So you could say okay for that. Let's say I wanted to do the reverse. Let's say I had a really bright, I went backwards in history there. Let's say I had a really bright background. I know I don't here, but I'm just going to do select inverse. It's just my toys now. And let's say I just want to make the toys black and white. I will do image, adjustments, black and white again. And now just these guys are black and white. Again, it doesn't look that cool for this photo. I have seen it done really well with bright, colorful backgrounds. Do you have to make the toys black and white? No, you do not. So let me just go back to select, inverse, image, adjustment, black and white. So there's my background, black and white. You could play around with these guys a bit more if you wanted to. Blues and reds are where you're going to see a lot of differences going on, but usually what they give you looks pretty good too. Click OK, and then to get rid of marching ants, just do a Control D. That's D for deselect, and you've deselected it and you're perfectly fine. Maybe some of your photos need to be cropped, just given a bit of a crop so that we see more of the objects themselves. Actually, maybe I'm going to try and switch this around and make it a horizontal photo. So we can go like that too. Check mark to say you like it. And there you go. A simple crop can do wonders, actually. And actually, even if I go back, if I really thought about my rule of thirds, right, and made it more like these guys are the lower third and there's a lot of just empty space on top of them, that'll make it look a lot better too. So that looks pretty good. So again, 6 creative photos. 2 of them have to have something turned into black and white. Usually the background is black and white unless you have a really colorful background. And the other 2 have to have something blurry. You can go ahead and do something to all 6 of them, that's no problem. And don't forget to save in 3 separate spots. So the G drive of the high school, your USB, plus your Dropbox.com. Every photo will be needed for grading purposes now and in the future in June when we do our huge digital magazine portfolio in lieu of an exam. Okay? Thank you.